1, 2, 3, 4. Only the old ones.
Cause the new one's our boss.
Welcome to Corzeons. Today we're talking about Silent Hill 3. Woo! Hey, wait a minute. You forgot Silent Hill 2! Jerk! No, I didn't. I merely want to do 2 last because it's my favorite. And 3 just happens to be a direct sequel to 1 anyway. So there you go. Silent Hill 3. Unpopular opinion time. It's my least favorite of the series. I still like it and it's got good moments, but overall I think the story and everything was a letdown. However, the graphics, the music, the locations are really cool. Silent Hill 3 and 4 in particular have really great graphics for the hardware that it was on. And Silent Hill 3, in my opinion, still looks better than Homecoming on PS3. Silent Hill 3, I don't know why I don't like it. I don't think I needed a direct sequel to Silent Hill 1. And it's pretty clunky sometimes. And it directly continues the weird cult stuff, and it just kind of seems unnecessary. Like Silent Hill 1, this one throws you into hell immediately, with the mall going real harsh. I forgot, in the little intro video, you play inside the amusement park and then promptly get run over by a train. That's if you do it right. If you do it wrong, like I did this time, I just fell into a hole. Silent Hill 3 just seems more like campy schlock horror to me, and that's fine, but coming off of 2, I was a depressed teenager and looking to emo out hard. So the cult wants to find Heather because she's really Cheryl, because she's really Alessa, who the hell knows. Wait, she's supposed to be 17?
I'm not a child, you know.
And not only does she at one point state that she quit cigarettes for good, she's also wielding katanas and submachine guns. So in this one, the monsters are kind of reused from Silent Hill 1, but there are also some new ones, and all the new ones seem to be pretty phallic in nature. See? The subway. Woo! This was scary at first. I remember being very scared as a child in this one. I like the whole suicide note you can find, and at some point if you stand near the edge, something will push you onto the tracks and you have to get off. So when I was playing it, I was noticing Heather running in slow motion, but it was still smooth, so it wasn't that my PlayStation Now thing was chugging. Oh yes, I had to play this with PlayStation Now because I didn't have the disc anymore, and I had to play the HD collection. Ugh, sorry, but yeah, anyway. So I thought maybe it was my connection chugging, but then I realized I had the bulletproof vest on, and it doesn't do anything, it protects you from attacks, but the other thing it does is it prevents Heather from running very fast. So it was really weird. It's just a weird slow motion thing that I had no idea that that's what it does. Part of this game I just completely forgot because they're not very memorable. Like going through the sewers or the construction site or... Although, once you get to the office buildings, things seem to get pretty awesome. And it's a return to the gory, metal, red, rusty horror theme from the first one. The graphics in this really realize that aesthetic and it looks awesome. Like, compared to this, Silent Hill 2 never really had a scary dark world. Like, it got dark. I think it was more kind of water-themed. Things were soaking or rotting, and there's drips, which ties into the... Not this video, that's for Silent Hill 2. The office building turned out to be pretty cool. It took a really boring place and made it seem scary. So when Heather finally makes it home, Harry is unceremoniously dead, and Heather decides to go Last of Us 2 on Claudia's face. So once they decide to go to Silent Hill, Douglas drives her there, and he decides to ask Heather some very stupid questions concerning that her father was just murdered.
Are you sleeping? You cold? What's wrong? Feeling sick?
Holy long car ride, and holy exposition! Heather just really caught Douglas up on some Silent Hill lore.
A woman named Dahlia. She tried to summon the ancient god of the town.
The music started to have lyrics, and I never really liked that. I always liked the moody stuff. And another problem with the music with the lyrics is, during cutscenes, a lot of times you're hearing music with people talking way too loudly. So you get to Silent Hill, finally, and you get to revisit some places from Silent Hill 2. I'm sure that saved on development costs. So Heather gets to the hospital and she meets her nurse friends. But the hospital is kind of really an awesome level. You find all these diaries from Stanley Coleman, who is obsessed with Heather, and he leaves her little dolls. And you have to try to find and free Leonard, who's Claudia's father, but he just turns out to be a monster. The hospital starts to defy reality, and even the examining room is just a very cool, completely missable scene. You don't have to go in there at all, because this is the only thing that happens. You go in there, and the death and destruction of the mirror world starts to invade your world, and it's just a really cool shot. Number 3 introduces Hope House, which is the orphanage in Silent Hill. In Silent Hill 4, it's called Wish House, so maybe there are more than one. The orphanage is run by the cult, and it's just really neat that that's how they raise their members. When you go into Hell Hospital, the animated textures start coming out, and it's really cool. Things look like they're throbbing or crawling, and it's just really scary. So the fight with Leonard is dumb. He's just a big lump with a tongue hanging out. This scene in particular just starts the downward spiral, because this is why I have a problem with Silent Hill 3. The dialogue is so usually terrible, especially from Heather.
A mental case? Well, I guess you're not a person anyway.
What is that?
What's this?
This is a pretty boring level. The haunted house was a cool idea. So then you eventually reach the end. Douglas has gotten hurt mysteriously by Claudia or a monster or something, and Heather wants to call an ambulance.
It's broken.
I'll call an ambulance.
Heather, I probably would have called an ambulance around the first time the penis monster attacked me, but you do you. The church and the accompanying levels are really cool. The texture work is so great, but the story is not so great.
It's just as well. Luring you here also serves my purposes.
Checkmate.
Not yet.
And this is where it starts to get high on the exposition of the cult stuff, and Heather just continues to kind of be a crappy character. And there are some things that actually affect the ending. So you enter the confessional, and you hear someone asking for forgiveness. And so you can either choose to give forgiveness or to say nothing, and that affects the ending. This is my favorite part of the game, when Heather's talking to Vincent, and he tells her that she just loves killing them and stomping out their guts. And she's, you mean the monsters?
You come here and enjoy spilling their blood. And listening to them cry out. You feel excited when you step on them and snuff out their lives.
Are you talking about the monsters?
Monsters? They look like monsters to you? Oh no. Don't worry. It's just a joke. Well, the guest of honor has arrived.
So it's endgame time. Heather takes a little sippy of the glophitis in her locket.
She is nearly here.
And she has a big old abortion. So Claudia's hungry, I suppose, and she takes a big old gulp of that. Turns out she's going to be the one to birth God. The end boss and the end arena is so coolly designed, and the music is gothic-y and just dark. It's awesome at the end. But the fight is kind of lame. At least on this one, though, playing on normal, I was actually worried about my health and my ammo a little bit. After killing God, Heather says it's time to roll the credits.
Is that the end? I guess it's time to roll the credits.
How bizarre. And then she cries about her dad. Pick a tone, game. This is why I remember hating this game so much, because the endings are awful. There's two, and they both suck.
Heather, is it really over?
Not yet. You're still alive.
Heather, what, Heather?
Oh! Just a joke.
You gonna let your hair color go back too?
I don't know. Don't you think blondes have more fun?
Now I know I just said I hate it, but playing this again, I actually liked it a lot more than I remembered. It's just that the endings and the dialogue are so putrid. Oof. And that's really all we have to say about Silent Hill 3. As always, please leave your comments and suggestions and your likes in my little comment section. Alright, ladies. That's all set. We did it again. Tune in next time for Silent Hill 4.
I'm not a child, you know.